Hi everybody, it's Kerry Ellison at Keller Williams Realty. Thanks for joining us today on Conversations with Keller Williams. And guess who we've got today? The one, the only Glenn Cunningham.
I'm here.
We're so excited.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a new conversation with Glenn, and we're going to talk about how he got here, what's going on, and what he's doing in his life now. So, hey, Glenn, take us back to the beginning. What made you say, yes, I'm going to step in and be a team leader?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've told you this and you laugh every time, but first of all, I didn't want it in the beginning. I don't know if you remember that, but we had just launched our PC program, right? Our productivity coaching program. So it wasn't in existence before that. So I just got off the ground like 8 months prior.
Yeah.
And we were rocking. We had like 53 agents in that program, and I had pods, and we were dividing and conquering. We were doing one-on-one coaching, and we were starting to get some traction. And then our former team leader had to step out, health issues and things like that.
She was having a baby.
That's right. She was having a kiddo, and
congratulations, Katie.
Right. And pretty immediately you wanted me to consider it, and I was like, no. So I was like, I'm doing great. And I think I told you no for probably 3 months. It was probably 2 or 3 months, right? And to the point where you even had like your coach get on a call with me and like, well, tell me why not type stuff, and so. So ultimately I talked to Steph and she was like, well, you could help out, because I knew I could help. I knew I've done it. I've ran my own company in the past, and I've recruited people, and I've built sales teams. And so I knew I could do it. I just had a good thing going. Right. Yeah. And I was still selling real estate, and I enjoy real estate, which is why I'm back in it now. And I think my fear of it was that I didn't want to be put in a box. I remember telling you that. I thought the TL role was this 8 to 5, you punch in, you punch out, you're handcuffed to a desk, and I could only do one thing. And I think I just had that in my mind too, but I say what really kicked it off is one, Steph helped out. She kind of helped self-discover some stuff, but I would always be up here, and you were always the first car in the parking lot, right? And you would always be the last one to leave, and I just thought you were killing yourself, right? If I'm being honest.
Sure.
And I remember I was just thinking, I can at least help out till she finds a replacement, and that was my deal with Steph. I was like, I'll do it for 90 days, Steph, and then she'll find a replacement, and then blink twice, and 5 years goes by. So
and you're still here.
And I'm still here, right?
So for people that don't know, because you use some KW language in there,
right.
People aren't going to understand. What is a PC program?
Yeah. So PC, it's a productivity coaching program. So back in 2020, we launched this in October of 2020.
Yeah.
And I always tell people this: we've always had great training. We've always had people here to help, but we never had like a true coaching program. There was never really a true like, let's have a bunch of one-on-ones and give a 30, 60, 90 and walk people down a path. It was just, here's our training calendar. Yeah. First we had Crystal with agent services, and she was trying to funnel people down through a path, but it was not as pointed as what we had going on. So that's what that PC program was.
Yeah. So let's get back to, for anyone unfamiliar with Keller Williams and you're not used to our lingo, what does the team leader role really involve? What is it?
Yeah, it's a very unique role. Out of all the experience I've had here, I don't think anybody does it the way we do it.
Yeah.
And like what I mean, like other brokerages out in the world. But a team leader role for Keller Williams, in a word, it would just be growth. If you just had to sum it up in a word.
Okay.
I think it goes deeper than that, though. I mean, so growth could mean so many things. I mean, one, it could be agent count growth, right? And I don't want to get on a soapbox, but if you're not growing, you're dying in this business. Like, there's no such thing as maintaining level, because people retire, they get out of the business, there's attrition that happens. And so I was responsible for the growth of the company. We were responsible for the company dollar coming in, the profitability of the company, but I would say the second big rock is just culture. I think as a team leader, it was my job to protect the integrity of our culture here, make sure we had the right people coming in and right people on the bus, and I think we did a pretty good job with that.
I think you did a great job.
Appreciate it.
So what's one thing many agents don't realize about what really goes on behind the scenes as a team leader? What really goes on behind the curtain there?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to say a couple things here. I don't think a lot of agents understand that from a leadership perspective what goes on behind the curtain, right? I'll bounce back over to the TL thing here in a second, but I think as a leadership team here, I think most agents don't understand that we work for them. And everything that we do, it comes from the forethought of how do we do what we do better, and how do we help our people the best way. and how do we help them close more deals, and how do we help them hit their goals, and everything we do is based on how do we serve our people. And I don't think people understand that to a high degree, just because they don't see it, right? They just show up and everything's running, right, and the training calendar's there, and they're like, oh, that's cool, you put that on the training calendar. Well, it's because we've heard it from our people that needed it, right? As far as the TL roles, I would say lead gen. Right? Most people think a team leader just has one-on-ones with people and runs a team meeting and works with the leadership council and puts out some fires here and there. But I used to lead gen every single day, just like any other agent had to do. And so when I catch somebody in the hall and say, how's lead gen going? It's not an empty question. Like, I've been in it with you, right? It's just my lead gen was different, right? I was growing the business, right? And while they were finding deals. So it's one and the same.
So going off topic a little bit, what do you think the biggest misconception of you being a team leader or just the team leader role is?
I think the biggest misperception from people not in the KW world is that I'm just a recruiter. If I just had to say that, I hate that word. I don't feel like I've ever recruited anybody. Like and I say that because if we are a good fit for you and you see the value, come on. And if it's not a good fit, I love you from afar. It is what it is, right?
So let me ask you this: from the people that don't know KW and what we do, did you ever feel like a recruiter? Did you feel like a coach? Because I've heard you use the word coach over and over again.
Sure.
Tell us a little more about that.
Yeah,
In the team leader role, how were you a coach?
Right. Well, that's why I say I never felt like I ever recruited anybody, right? Because whenever I sit down with somebody, I'm not sitting there trying to think to myself, how do I recruit this person here? Like, full disclosure, there's been people in the past that I think would be a great fit with us that I wanted to see here, but that's not the conversation I have. It's not how do I recruit you or talk bad about that entity there to make ours look better. I always position it towards the person. Like, what are they trying to accomplish, right? And I always wanted to know what's their roadblock, what's getting in their way, what support do you have now, how can we help, right? And usually it's through those questions and that coaching to help people kind of get where they're trying to go, and they realize that they really don't have the support where they're at. And then that's usually when someone coming over here is just, it's seamless. You don't have to recruit anybody. You just show them that there's a better, clearer path and maybe an easier path or more supportive path, and it just kind of settles itself. So how did the role personally and professionally change you? Yeah, that's a really good one. Okay, let me see if I can get this out. So I ran a company before this. I ran a sales company for almost 10 years before this. And it was more like corporate America than we are, right? And I'll explain this to people that either aren't in real estate or kind of don't understand how this operates, right? But I ran my own company. We worked with a couple Fortune 500 companies, so it's very corporate, right? So what I mean by that is that there were standards in place, right? Now, we have standards here when it comes to integrity and your image, and you can't do stupid things online, and you can't be a bad person, right? Yeah. But when it came to my previous world, I could coach people based on a set of standards. It was like, I could say, listen, I can't let you fail on my watch. Yeah. This is the standard set by the client, and if you can't have it, you can't. If you don't do it, you can't work here, right? Yeah. And so it wasn't like I was coming down on anybody or making anybody feel bad, but like it was a different level of coaching. I still coached them based on what they wanted in life and their big whys and how to do the activities to get the results. But at the end of the day, people can self-select out because, it's not me firing you. It's just you if you don't hit these standards for the X, Y, Z 6 weeks, whatever it was, we could do a performance improvement program. And then if that didn't work, my hands are tied. Yeah. It is. And then you flip the switch on that, you come here. Yeah. And for people that don't know, realtors are 1099 contractors, right? Yeah. Which means they all run their own businesses. Like outside of integrity and us doing the right thing, we can't make people show up. Right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I can't make you make calls. I can't make you go close deals. And so it was totally different in how I had to change how I coached people, right? And so what I found as coaching agents, I had to pivot, and I couldn't rely on, the standard is the standard is the standard. It was really, hey, you said you wanted this. What has changed? Yeah. Right? It had to, position it that way. Yeah. So it was different. Much more coaching. A lot more coaching. Yeah, I'm sure it would be a lot easier. God knows if we had people, we said, you have to be here, you have to do this, and then, you don't get that option in a 1099 world. You can't. Should they do it? Yes. Yeah. And all you can do is just ask questions, and they either do it or they don't. They have to make the decision. They'd have to make the decision, yeah. When you look back on your time as team leader, what are you most proud of? Oh, that's a good one. A couple things. So as a TL, like I said, the word is growth, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I took the role. We had 2 locations. We had Little Rock, Big Conway.
Yeah.
And in that 5-year run, we expanded from those 2 locations to Benton down in Saline County. We added Hot Springs, and we added Jonesboro, Northeast Arkansas. So we've expanded to 5 locations, and super proud of that. As far as headcount, we had somewhere in the mid 200s, 240, 250, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
When I left, it was over 300. It was 320. So we were rocking. I don't remember what the metric was when I took the role, but when I left, we're always in the top 2 or 3 in profitability in our region. We're always top 2 or 3 for productivity and just everything across the board. So super proud of that, and also I'm proud of our people too. Like I could rattle off 20 names right now of people that either started when I started and we've coached them to be total rock stars and they're doing so great, or they started at a different brokerage, they came here and their business just totally took off.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm super proud of those people too.
Yeah. So when you think back on your time as team leader, what did you learn in leadership that maybe you didn't expect to learn?
That's a really good question. It kind of goes back to the whole difference in like the corporate America versus the 1099 world.
Mm-hmm.
I had to soften my edges, if that makes sense. And now, my edges are as sharp as they can be when it comes to integrity and doing the right thing. Like that'll never waver. But when it comes to having those conversations and getting people to do the things that they know they need to do when they need to do it, those conversations had to change, because I've always been so just black and white, like high D, right? Like one of my old sales teams, like I could choose who I hired, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I knew who I was getting because I chose them, right?
Yeah.
And so, with here, we run disc profiles all the time. Well, my old sales companies, like I had nothing but D's.
Yeah.
Walking around, because that's the way we communicated, right? It was black and white. What are your numbers? Let's go. And it was fun and loud and rowdy, right? Mm-hmm. And real estate's totally different, right? Like most people are SCs and they're not as loud and gregarious as me, and so I had to learn how to shift gears and talk to people differently and coach people differently, and I had to learn how to shut up more and listen. And I had to do that a lot more, and still a work in progress.
Yeah,
so.
Always is, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's why it's called growth, right?
That's right. It's painful.
So, thinking back on your time, what do you think separated agents who grew really, really quickly from those who stayed stuck or maybe grew really, really slow? What do you think the difference is?
Yeah,
what separated them?
That's a really good question. Here's where my mind goes on this. There's 2 buckets. Okay, so if you take new agents that come in, right, and we have some agents that just took the bull by the horn, they took off, right? And then we have some new agents come in and they're out of the business in 6 months. Yeah. Like they flame out really quickly, just the nature of the business. And then you have the same thing with transferring agents in too that may have been licensed for 4 or 5 years, right? Yeah. And they come in and they hit another gear and they take off. Yeah. And then you got other agents that transfer in and then they're out of the business too in 6 months. You're like, what happened, right? Yeah. And so there's 2 different buckets in my mind on this. So I'll start with the new agents. So when I was new, the biggest differentiator from like me to like the group of people, I think I started with like 12 other people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this to brag, but I think I had more production than all the other 12 combined.
Probably.
Right? Like I just took off, right?
Yeah.
And what I found is that there's a lot of agents that come in and they make the mistake of getting ready to get ready to get ready. Mm-hmm. Right? Now there's a place for education, there's a place for coming to all the classes. Yes, and I was sitting right next to them, right? But the difference is that I didn't say to myself, I don't want to go look stupid. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. I'll wait until I learn that.
Yeah.
Or I'll wait till next month to get going. I think I was knocking on doors my second day I held a license. I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Wow.
But the thing is, I've been teaching sales for 10 years, right? Yeah. And so I literally wrote a script. I didn't even know who Tom Ferry was at the time, or Buffini, or I hadn't even read the MREA yet.
Wow.
Right? I literally wrote my own script for door knocking and went and knocked on doors. Right? I just did it, right? Yeah. And if someone asked me a question, I was like, I don't know, but I've got a coach that does, right? And I pivoted that way. And so I think the newer agents that have that mindset are going to be just fine, right? And you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay, but lean on your coaches and run with it. Yeah. And the other ones that don't, they're always getting ready to get ready and have an excuse why they can't, and they're worried about this, and then next thing you know, they're out of the business in a year.
You know, so what it sounds like you're saying is that you've got 2 groups. You've got people who are fearless and people that are fearful.
That's right.
So if you were going to give a piece of advice to the people that are fearful, what would it be?
Yeah, I think if you're fearful
in the real estate business.
Yeah. I think if you're fearful, you need to get tactical. Like you need to break it down into bite-sized pieces and practice with someone.
Okay.
And don't, because that goes back to us teaching, fearless people. Like, you could tell me, go figure it out. And okay, and I'm just going to go do it, right? Fearful people aren't going to do that. They're going to freeze.
Yeah.
Right? So with fearful people, you really have to dial it down and say, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. When they say this, you say this. And it has to be a very structured 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have to learn it. Right?
So on that coaching note, you've got somebody, say we're talking to Real Estate Nation here, and we're talking to somebody who wants to get into production quicker than what they are. What's the 2 pieces of advice you'd give them to get them unstuck?
If they want to get into production faster than they are, I think you got to ask yourself first is, what are you doing, what are you not doing, right? I think you've got to look at your calendar and ask yourself, is real estate my priority? That's a big thing too. I think a lot of agents mistake activity for productivity. People are going to hate me when I say this. There is no substitute for just talking to humans. There's just no substitute for it. You're kidding yourself if you think you're getting in this game and you're just going to post a bunch of stuff and in 3 months you're making millions. I'm sorry, it's not going to work. Right? Like, there is a place for marketing, but we always say you have to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced, and people get that so backwards every single time. Like, just pick up a phone and call your people. Like I hear this all the time. Like, through my time as a TL, people would come in and I'd always ask, what's getting you into real estate? And if they ever said something like, oh, I like HGTV, or if they say, oh, I just like looking at houses online, I never say this to them. They're probably going to fail. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or if I hear them say, they come to their first couple training classes and they say, well, I'm not calling my people, I don't want to bother them. You're really at odds with yourself, right? Because you're in a people helping people business here, and you have to communicate with humans. There's no substitute for it. I'm sorry. Right? It has to happen. Let me back up real quick so we skip something. The second bucket of those people that light off quickly and then don't, or the transferring agents in, I think that comes down to a growth mindset. I think that one is. Just so, because we talk KW lingo, what's a growth mindset mean? Yeah, I think a growth mindset is where you come in and you're looking for ways to grow your business and you're looking for ways to improve what you're doing on a daily, weekly basis. There's no silver bullet, right? Yeah. We've seen agents come here because we have the best training, we have technology, and we have all the stuff. If you don't tap into it, it does nothing. Yeah. Right? It's like we could have the best gym membership in the world, but if you don't go to the gym, it does nothing. You know what I mean? And so those people that don't have a growth mindset, they're the ones that'll flame out. Right? Ultimately they do. But the ones that do have a growth mindset, they come in, they get with a coach, they put together a 411, they stick to the plan. They're not excuse oriented. They're accountable. Right? Yeah. And they say, hey, I just didn't get it done this week. That's cool. Right, I can get done with that. That's fine. I'm never going to make you feel bad. We're just going to say, cool, knowing what you know now, what has to change. Yeah. What do you need to do different? What do you need to do different? Right. So what do you hope your lasting impact on this office is? That's good. Well, I think anybody in this role hopes they have a lasting impact first and foremost, right? But if I had to answer that, I would say that I really hope that we just continue the growth that we're on, and I have no doubt that we will. Right, with you and the people that are going to come in and replace me, and there's no doubt that's going to happen. We're going to continue to grow. Our culture is so amazing here, and we're very much an experiential company. We say that. It's not about the caps and the splits and the office fees or even our tech. It's about our culture here, really. And so I think if we had the long-term effect that I want is that culture to keep growing and stay the same. Yeah. Yep. Great. Well, I think first of all and foremost, thank you so much as your time as team leader, as my partner for all those years, my partner in crime. That's right. I enjoyed it. I sure enjoyed having you. I was like, I love somebody to push me, and that's exactly what you did. And I have absolutely no doubt you'll be successful as an agent. That's right. You'll be killing it. So I'm excited for you and your path. We look forward to seeing you around the office, which we have, and in all the different investment opportunities we have coming up. That's right, we do. All right. Cool, well, thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in.